child leukemia, brain tumors, acoustic neuromas, breast cancer, disease of the nervous system, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, damage caused cell mutation, initiation cancer cells, weaken the stress proteins, immune dysfunctions, chronic allergic responses, inflammatory diseases, ill health, infertility, reduced sperm count, poor concentration, deep disruption. Thank you. And if you have any questions, my husband is here, you can ask him.
Next speaker is Aziz Omar.
Members of the council, we have given Ronnie, given Aziz 6 minutes instead of 4.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Dr. Aziz Omar, 101 Irvingdale Lane. I want to say no to meters for many, many reasons, which I'm sure none of you are even remotely aware of, as I've been in touch with some of the researchers that I have given you articles of which you have. One in particular you may not have is what my mother had mentioned, is Robert Conrad, and I've been on the phone with him for the last hour in great detail, cybersecurity and things that I'm sure that none of you are even could imagine, the things that can happen to our little community here as well as happening everywhere else in the nation. I'm sure Ronnie Thompson has seen some of the information at great level this weekend as we've talked quite a bit about this, but the reason I'm going to tell you first is the dangers of smart meters have been proven to be dangerous because radiation experts have shown that smart meters put out 160 times more radiation than a cell phone, and despite what Herbie Brooks says, because that is propaganda that he has found related and paid for by smart meters made in China. Some of those of which were made in Durham, by the way, in which there were recalls in which somebody has died from that, not to mention 5 prior deaths already related. I'm sure there's more than that that I have not discovered or found, and hundreds of fires. And let's talk about the fact that these meters are connected to the wall in which they pulse out X amount of times of radiation, and this can be controlled by a hacker, which then can radiate and boost that radiation level with simple abilities to create more radiation. And if that smart meter fails, you're not out there policing it like a nuclear plant to see if it's putting out more radiation. As my mom has already pointed out some of the side effects I myself have discovered from the excessive number that you put on my property. I've become electrosensitive to it, and I've had palpitations as well as severe headaches from it. That's why I'm also asking that they please be removed from the property. And that's a health hazard as far as I'm concerned. Privacy. You can get data information by 4th Amendment law. It's an invasion of privacy. By law, you cannot do that. That is illegal. And I and Louis and I have talked about this on Friday in great detail. You can't refute that. It also is a violation of minimalized 5th Amendment, 10th Amendment, and 14th. Guinea pigging is 14th Amendment. We can talk about that later if Louis and I likes. Right to choice. This is not a right to choice. As Duke Power is right here in Morganton, gives that opportunity for those citizens who live in the city of Morganton to opt out. I feel like Morganton should give the same opportunities, and we should not follow. And piloting a program, as Robert Conrad, the researcher, has also told me, why would you pilot a program that's already been well tested everywhere else for failure, fires, death, and everything else in between, and radiation? If you want to really talk about hacking, let's get down to it. Hacking is so easy, it's almost amazing that I'm sure none of you know what the word chatter even means, and I would even contest Kirby Brooks' ability to answer that question on what chattering is. Chattering is what a hacker can do. He can flip the switch, but once he accesses the ability to get on to the wireless meter and hack it and turn the frequency off and on frequently, he can cause a failure of the entire apartment or housing complex and even set it on fire from chattering. These are facts that only a hacker would know, and companies who understand smart meters and how you can make a smart meter to fail and set it on fire. Wireless systems are not even required for accuracy. The old meters work just fine. There's no problems with those old meters. There's many things that I've left there as articles for you all to look at of Los Angeles Times, New York Times, Forbes, Wall Street, the list goes on. Consumers Digest all say this is a bad idea. Could be, in fact, Los Angeles Times talks about this as outdated technology. Within a year, all technology can be all outdated. You're going to replace all 16,000 meters all over again? I mean, accuracy is not, you're not defending your state as to why you're even wanting smart meters. You've not even stated that in the newspaper anywhere else, or its cost effectiveness. Los Angeles Times and many other critics have already found that this is not a cost effective or nor beneficial to anybody. It's tested. It's been tested that it does not work. And you're piloting a program that every other city in the nation has piloted already somewhere else. And you're piloting it all over again. That's what even the researcher has to ask you all, why are you piloting a program that's already been tested somewhere else to fail or cause fires? The fire marshal of Nevada said he had to take it off his own property because it almost killed him. And he does not recommend it. In fact, some mayors in other countries, and not countries, other states, that said it's not UL listed, and that doesn't even matter either to pay off that group of people to support this. But you have no scientific information on health, safety, cyber terrorism, or how you're going to overcome all these factors. They're highly dangerous. And besides, the hundreds of people that I spoke to over this weekend, none of them know what the smart meter is even about or its risk involving, the dangers of it. And these are the questions that need to be answered. And like I said, I'm electrosensitive to these meters. I've had lots of headaches from it already. And I've had palpitations, and I would like to have them removed from my property. Not to mention, no one's talked about its load-bearing ability, load management, which I've talked to the Kirby Brooks about. Just let me finish this one part, please. The load management aspect is what I'm understanding, what the whole purpose of having a smart meter is to move the load when it's required somewhere else during peak capacity. Not for accuracy of billing. And that's all that's been mentioned in the newspaper. So none of the things that I'm talking about has been made mention in the newspaper or anywhere else in any of your information that you sent with the electric bill to anyone. So no one in the community that I'm aware of is even aware of these things. Well, thank you.
We were,
Are these two things the same thing?
It's the same thing.
Okay, we'll make copies for everyone.
Thank you.